The queen bee was stunned to discover that the boy she'd bullied every single day in high school had grown up to be a CEO. As she marveled at the twist of fate, a speeding car slammed into her. When she opened her eyes again, she'd reincarnated back to her high school days. Spotting the boy in his school uniform walking toward them, her best friends assumed she'd tease him like usual. They rushed over to stop him, dragging him right to her side. But to their surprise, she didn't fool around this time. Instead, she batted her eyelashes and leaned in, leaving the guy utterly captivated. Her friends immediately wondered if she'd lost her mind. She acted this way because, after the manipulative girl had hit her with a car in her past life, she'd watched her friends die right in front of her. Her husband and family, however, had settled out of court with the culprit for just a few $1,000s. Only then did she realize that being the so-called queen bee had cost her her best friends, and she couldn't stop her family from abandoning her in the end. Given a second chance at life, she vowed to help her friends make something of themselves and make her murderous husband pay. Just then, the boy who was always bullied approached on his bike, only to be stopped by her friends at the school gate. In his past life, he'd accidentally killed his abusive father but had worked his way into the Academy of Sciences through sheer perseverance, eventually becoming a billionaire tech CEO. She knew she had to lock down someone this talented. She leaned in close to his ear and asked him to tutor her. But why would a boy who'd been tormented daily agree? Her friends, seeing his hesitation, snarled at him not to get cocky. They told him their leader asking for tutoring was doing him a huge favor, urging him to accept before she lost her temper and taught him a lesson fast. One of them even snatched his school bag. The girl never thought her first attempt at collaboration would get ruined by her friends. She hurried to help Joe pick up his bag and apologized sincerely. The boy, used to her arrogant and domineering attitude, was confused by her sudden gentleness. Sensing his hesitation, she was about to plead further when a group of uninvited guests showed up. The leader, a blonde-haired thug, was her husband from her past life. Remembering how he'd abandoned her for a few $1,000s and made a deal with her killer, she wanted to yank out all his blonde hair right then and there. But she held back, knowing she needed to buy her time. Unfortunately, he pushed his luck. One of his lackeys sucked up to him, praising his charm and saying he hated boys who pretended to be goody two-shoes. Eager to defend the blonde thug, she spoke up, but the boy, witnessing this, walked away in disappointment. The blonde thug soaked up the admiration, but she couldn't care less. She ripped off her trendy wig, determined to take control of her life this time around. Back in class, though, she stared at her test paper with a lousy 5 out of 100, feeling discouraged. Even if she and her friends stayed up all night studying until they dropped, they'd never get into college. She had to find a way to make the boy agree to tutor them. Thinking about his poor family background, she suddenly had an idea. Soon, she and her friends were performing a dance no one had seen before, earning a fortune from tips, so much so that a talent scout from a famous media company took notice. Everyone thought she was about to become an overnight star, but she flatly refused. She knew fame without a solid foundation wouldn't last, only knowledge could take her far. Then the scout handed her a poster. Seeing the date on it, she froze. Today was the day the boy had accidentally killed his father. She rushed to his house with her friends. Inside, his cruel father was trying to steal his tuition money to pay off gambling debts, even shoving his wife to the ground. The boy walked in, saw what was happening, and rushed to protect his mother. Enraged, his father raised his hand to hit him, but the boy had secretly pulled out a fruit knife, ready to take him